Darkness stretches across the mountains. Wind slices through the peaks. Boots crunch on stone, but the owners are nowhere in sight. A whisper rises, Amharic, soft, urgent, then disappears. Silence swallows it whole. Cut to Europe, 1935. A man with a small mustache stands on a stage, his voice thunderous. Hitler, crowds roar. Maps blaze red with conquest. Italy sharpens its claws, eyes Africa. Everyone says Ethiopia will fall. Everyone expects it. They always do. But then things start to break. Italian patrols vanish overnight. Supply convoys erupt in flames without warning. Soldiers swear they see shadows in the trees, shadows that leave no footprints. Commanders grow frantic, reports flood in. An enemy unseen, untouchable. They call them the Ghost Army, no formal training, no uniforms, not even in the records, yet somehow they strike, they vanish, they win. Villages whisper of heroes in the night. Italian officers tremble at the sound of drums, knowing they are being hunted. Maps can't contain them. Strategy cannot predict them. And in the heart of Africa, a nation rises from the shadows to humiliate fascist Europe. One of the last free kingdoms in Africa, ancient churches hewn from solid rock. Markets bursting with drums, incense, voices. A people proud, unbowed, never colonized. But across the sea, a storm is forming. Mussolini dreams of empire. Italy wants revenge for old humiliation. They want Africa. Europe watches, quiet, distant, indifferent. Ethiopia's army is outgunned, outnumbered, outdated. Tanks roar, poison gas drifts, fighter planes darken the sky. Families huddle by radios, hearts hammering with fear. Farmers sharpen tools into weapons. Priests whisper blessings over boys who will not return. Emperor Haile Selassie writes letters to the world. Letters begging for help. Letters no one answers. The world turns a blind eye. And yet something is stirring, not in the open plains, not on parade grounds. But in forests, in villages, in the shadows between the sun and the soil. Something is about to break. And when it does, the war will not be fought by guns alone. It will be fought by silence. By shadow, by those the world is not ready to see. The sky splits with fire. Italian bombers roar overhead. Mustard gas drifts down, burning lungs and lives. Cities shatter. Smoke climbs like a dark river into the sky. Ethiopia's army falls apart, outgunned, overrun, outnumbered, but then the impossible begins. Farmers vanish into the mountains, leaving only footprints in the dust. Teachers become scouts, mapping the enemy's every move. Women carry ammunition hidden beneath baskets of grain, their eyes sharp, their hearts steady. No uniforms, no medals, no generals, only loyalty, only courage carved from desperation. They weave invisible networks across forests and villages. They strike in silence. Under the cover of night, bridges explode. Officers vanish in ambushes. Radio towers go dark. Italian generals pace in fear. They do not know who commands this force. They do not know where it sleeps. They do not know its name. They only know one thing: this enemy never fights fair. And that is exactly why they survive. Because sometimes survival isn't about weapons. It's about becoming a shadow, a ghost. A story no map can contain. Italy strikes back with fire. Entire villages vanish in smoke. Public executions in the town square. Mass arrests. Children press their faces against walls, watching fathers hang. The air tastes of fear. And yet the Ghost Army does not falter. Barefoot runners carry messages through the night. Plans are whispered inside churches, hidden beneath hymns, signals buried in folk songs. Every note a secret, every rhythm a warning. Ethiopian fighters memorize patrol routes like sacred maps. They sabotage convoys, poison wells, vanish before dawn. Italian soldiers begin to panic. They swear the trees are watching. They fire into darkness. Nothing fires back until it does. But the war is not just outside, it creeps inside. Betrayal seeps into villages. Some leaders switch sides for safety. Some trade names for survival. Suddenly the shadows are exposed. The Ghost Army faces their deadliest enemy yet, their own people. Addis Ababa falls. Smoke curls over the rooftops like a funeral shroud. Emperor Haile Selassie boards a plane into exile. The world breathes a sigh of relief. They think Ethiopia is finished. Newspapers move on. But the war doesn't end. It changes shape. The Ghost Army splinters. 5 fighters become 3, 3 become 1. Lone warriors slip through the mountains and forests. Convoys explode under their shadow. Snipers stop armies in their tracks. Italian troops travel only in numbers now, haunted by invisible eyes. Every road is cursed. Every village whispers danger. Italy holds the cities, but the countryside belongs to ghosts. And then the world catches fire. World War II erupts. Hitler rises. Europe burns. Suddenly, Britain looks to Ethiopia, a place they once ignored. British forces march into East Africa, expecting a modern army, steel and guns and discipline. But what they find is something else entirely. Local guides emerge from shadows. Hidden supply caches appear like ghosts from the ground. Enemy positions already mapped, booby-trapped, anticipated. The ghost army never left. They were waiting, silent, invisible. All at once, resistance and allied troops move as one. Italian strongholds crumble, fascist morale shatters, bridges blow. Convoys vanish, every strike feels preordained. And then the impossible. Haile Selassie steps back into Addis Ababa, crowds weep in the streets, church bells ring through the smoke. A nation breathes again, against poison gas, against bombers, against Europe's fascist machine. Ethiopia survives not because of tanks, not because of treaties, but because invisible fighters refuse to surrender. The war ends. Silence falls over mountains and plains. Monuments rise elsewhere. Parades march for others. The ghost army disappears into villages and farms, almost as if they never existed. No medals, no fanfare. Many die unnamed, swallowed by time. Their faces vanish from history books, yet their tactics echo through modern guerrilla warfare. Their courage ignites resistance movements across Africa for generations to come. And still, textbooks rarely remember them. No Hollywood movies immortalize their deeds. No statues mark the ground they defended. Just whispers, shadows, echoes in empty streets. And here's the haunting truth. One of fascism's earliest defeats didn't come from tanks or treaties. It came from farmers with rifles, faith in their hearts, and a refusal to surrender. Today, Ethiopia still bears the scars of war, but it also carries the legacy of unity, of defiance, of ordinary people who became shadows so their nation could live. The ghost army didn't only fight soldiers, they fought erasure, they fought being forgotten. They proved history isn't written only by empires, sometimes it's written by whispers in the dark. And maybe that is the most powerful victory of all, because they didn't just save a country, they reminded the world even ghosts can stop tyrants. So the next time someone tells you resistance is pointless, remember Ethiopia. Remember the army you couldn't see.